imagine a couple boarding a plane, finally reaching the land that they have been dreaming of. They've been stuck for years. Try to imagine a couple boarding a plane, finally reaching the land that they have been dreaming of. They've been stuck for years in political and religious. I've been asking a couple questions, right? And not just here, also during lunch and all that. And it seems like it's been cross multiple industries. How many of you would say in real estate as well as construction nationally, have you experienced that as well, a shortage in the skilled? Excellent, excellent. So what are you doing currently? I mean, I'll kind of Q&A on you. What have you been doing currently to help you in your businesses with that, if I may ask?
Sure. So one of the things that we do is when we bring on young laborers that are eager to learn, we ask them are you willing? If you show up and you prove that you're willing to be here and do the work, then we'll work with you. We'll help you pick a trade, like a lane, to go into plumbing, electrical, you name it, and then we'll help start pushing you in that direction. And if you end up going out on your own, great, you'll be our sub. So we're trying to give them motivation to really drive into something specific.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. Anyone else? What are you kind of currently doing in your business with this type of issue? Yes, right there in the back.
Yeah, we're just doing signing bonuses right now, up to $5,000 to even show up.
Interesting, yeah. Now, curious question to ask. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, big difference or about the same? About the same? I know for me it's about the same, about the same. So how are we doing? Do we have a video? We don't have video? What do we got? What? Not at the moment, got it. Okay, you know what? Can you do just the audio then? Because we were able to hear the audio. And start it at any time. I'm just going to keep asking questions. So now going off from that topic, what has been your favorite moments so far of the conference, would you say? Highlights, broad stroke. Today, lunch, yes. Lunch is always a winner. Oh, it started on time, I heard, right? I didn't go ahead. Boarding a plane, finally reaching the land that they have been dreaming of. They've been stuck for years in political and religious persecution, only to find themselves stopped by the military as they're boarding the plane. They have to make a decision. One of them has to stay behind. Why? Because one of them had been heavily involved in protests against the communist regime, only 90 miles away from here. So what did they decide to do? She decided to come here by herself, pregnant, because their child needed to be born free in the United States. That child was me. My name is Mecias Murphy, and I'm the president of JA&M Developing Corp. JA&M Developing Corp is a commercial construction company that's dedicated to masonry and concrete work. My dad was able to come here 2 weeks after I was born. Interestingly enough, as God would have it, he got introduced to the area of construction. I said, hey, want to do construction full-time with you. The pride and joy that you feel working together as a family towards a common goal, words can't even describe it. You have something that you could look for decades and say, wow, we did that together. It's not your typical, you just have a hammer and you dig a ditch anymore. You're able, if you're good at math, you're able to be in estimating. There's a whole area of construction accounting that specializes in construction. It doesn't matter if you're female, male, what religion you have, what ethnic group. It's all a matter of merit and hard work. I realize not everybody has that positive voice that speaks into their lives. So I want to be that voice. I want to be able to tell anyone, hey, it's possible. You can get into this. It's something that you can do, and you can start with really no experience and work yourself up. Thank you. So I'm so thrilled. They told me to stay behind the podium. I like moving around, so I'm going to do my best. I'm so thrilled to be speaking to you today. You are all such an inspiring group of people. The memories I'm going to take with me by having spent time with you and interacted with you over lunch, over dinner, those are memories I'm never going to forget, and I'm better because of that. So J.A.N.'s story, right? Truly the American dream. This story describes so many businesses, small businesses nationwide, and represented here from your own stories. Small businesses are the backbone of what drives our economy, and especially the construction industry. The national GDP, the construction industry comprises more than 8% of that. So what happens in a skilled workforce shortage and aging workforce industry to the small companies that need them? Let's see if I'm going to play with it. Oh, yeah. Oh, was it already said before? Let me see. Back? Yes. Okay. So according to ABC Research, in 2021, the construction industry will need to hire more than 430,000 workers to be able to keep in line with all the work that's coming out, more than 2020. According to the same analysis, it also revealed that $1 billion in extra construction spending is going to give an average of about 5,700 jobs. We know this, we're in the industry. And this is nothing new. We've been struggling with this for 10 years, as a colleague this morning, Stephanie, had mentioned. It's an issue. And the analysis also suggests that they're harder to find, did you say $5,000 in bonuses? And more expensive as well. Folks are leaving for $1. Also, a lot of the things that Stephanie was saying this morning, she was dead on. So I would like everyone to maybe go back to a different time of your life. Think back to middle school, to high school. Some of the classes that you may have experienced might have included shop, might have included something in the trades. The exposure now that kids go through, it's non-existent. There are some trade schools in that age group, but it's definitely not as much as it was maybe 20 years ago. So, let's see where we are, sorry. Okay. So what do we do as an industry to assist in this? So some of you may or may not know about ABC, which is the Association of Builders and Contractors. It's a nationwide trade association with over 21,000 members nationwide. There's different chapters in all the states. But as a member of the ABC Florida East Coast chapter and the treasurer of the board of directors, I can definitely tell you that ABC chapters and members all over the country utilize industry-tested and recognized craft training programs and registered apprenticeships. All these models to help deliver construction education. Over 800 ABC education programs, 1,400 locations nationwide. Just in 2019, ABC and its members invested over $1.5 billion yes, billion dollars, to educate and upskill more than 1.1 million course attendees. I know it's a lot of statistics and numbers, but basically, it's an important issue, and this is how we're kind of doing it to address it. So about 2 weeks ago, I was asked to share my story in front of the House Small Business Committee to discuss my views on the infrastructure bill. And even though there's going to be a lot of jobs from that bill, one of the, let me see if it's, yep, nope, we're going back to that. One of the most important items is that there's not one specific way that this needs to be done. So it's important that we have all the possible options because there's a huge shortage. So anything that we can do, we have different ideas, different collaborations. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a huge issue, and it requires everyone in the industry to also participate and to give their ideas towards this solution. So I had mentioned that the importance of that. So one of the main things is to not limit the pipeline, right? Not limit what approach we use, what tools we use. When I say tools, I'm saying things like methodologies, just like in-time task training, competency-based learning, e-learning, work-based learning, industry-recognized and government-registered apprenticeships that will allow for expanded access to industry credentials and work-based learning opportunities. Also, post-secondary skills training, career exploration, and these are just a few, right, of the many things that are out there in order to help address that gap and that shortage. But I'd like to particularly talk about what we're doing in Florida in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, that's also a nationwide agency, and the Florida East Coast chapter. So basically, let me explain just what a typical month may look like with my colleagues. So I'll have general contractors there, plumbers, electricians, HVAC, and we all take turns every month going before a group, I would say biggest group, maybe 50 students, and they range from the age of 11, middle school, all the way to high school. So the first time I walked in, I'm asking them, so what do you know about construction? What are your ideas? And of course, well, yeah, you have a shovel, or you know, your typical answers. And then I started talking to them about, I asked them, okay, so how many of you like to draw? How many? And I went through a whole bunch of different questions. And then I kind of started explaining to them that the construction industry is so diverse. There's so many different things just by their interests that they can be a part of because there's specialties within that. And as we started doing some hands-on activities, you start seeing their eyes kind of light up, and then telling them, hey, do you know that this is a good first choice? That if you kind of go up, that you can actually make 6 figures in management positions. And they kind of looked, they couldn't believe it. And it's kind of like you don't know what you don't know, right? But one little girl stood in my mind, and it's a girl in middle school, and she asked me, do you really think that there's something in construction for a girl like me? What could I do? As you can imagine, that brought all sorts of emotions right inside. And I said, that's the beauty of it. You can do whatever it is that you want. I went on to explain how diverse construction is and kind of what I told you before. And this program has started in 2012. So there's been a lot of different success stories. So these are just 4 highlights here. Jeffrey, who was in the Boys and Girls Club for 8 years, and he actually went to some classes. He got his OSHA 10, began an internship in electric, and then an electric company hired them right from there. You also have Devin, who he mentored with Jim Robertson, a very close friend in the crane industry. And he started as a hoist technician. He actually became a crane operator with his business. And you have folks like Kendrick Williams. I mean, these are just 4 out of so many kids that just by having been exposed to the industry, by just having like a little bit of a taste of an internship through either what we call a career day once a year, and kind of have different spots that they go to for 10, 15 minutes a piece and just kind of go from booth to booth, if you will. It gives them an option. Wow, there is something else. There is something that I might not have thought of. And so I kind of want to show a video of a little bit about the program. Hopefully it comes on and we're able to see it. Let's see. If not, I will go to something else. Oh, yes. Oh, but we don't have volume. All right.
Seven's Lynn Martinez shows us in tonight's Parent to Parent.
Students aren't sure what to do after high school. Jobs are scarce in many circumstances, and college isn't an option for everybody.
A new local program is giving teens more choices. Seven's Lynn Martinez shows us in tonight's Parent to Parent.
Through that box, we're going to pass wire through.
The light bulb is about to go on for these teens.
We're going to go up to a switch. And it's going to operate a light.
The group from the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County is in training.
We're teaching them the basics of the electrical trade.
It's a hands-on lesson from instructors at the Associated Builders and Contractors Institute.
Associated Builders and Contractors has been for decades, the largest single provider of apprenticeship training in South Florida.
The 2 organizations decided to come together to give young people an opportunity to create a successful career path.
Today in America, 60% of the jobs will require some type of post-high school certification.
The majority of Boys and Girls Club kids are being raised by single parents. Many won't get the chance to go to college.
Hold it like this.
This 4-week apprenticeship program offers them real training for a career in the construction field.
The graduate apprentice in our program or any other program actually makes more than someone with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree.
16-year-old Akira earned her 120-hour certification and says that she is learning a lot.
The single power switch, and I learned more math while I was in the classroom.
Ricky says the experience has given him a great sense of accomplishment.
I fixed the door in my bathroom because I was doing it with the tools they let me have, and then I was like showing off.
Go ahead and tighten it down.
The best part, once all the hard work is done, students can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And they know they can do anything they set their mind to.
To be something you want to be, you gotta do something you never did.
Handy around the house. This summer, by the way, was the first year for the program. They hope to expand it and already taking applications for next year. For more information on the Boys and Girls Club and this program, head to our website, WSVN.com. In the Plex, Lynn Martinez, 7 News.
So that was 2012 when the program started, so it's definitely grown exponentially. But I want to do something a little bit different than what we've done so far, and it was one of the conversations I had last night, so I definitely want to bring it together. I want to group you. I will allow you, it's the teacher in me, I will allow it for you to group yourselves into at least groups of 4, right? And what I would like for you to do is maybe share some of the experiences that you have had or different ideas that have come up, and maybe share it with each other. It's not gonna be too long. It's only gonna be maybe about between 5 and 10 minutes, because I wanna make sure that I'm sensitive to the time and allow for questions and that you may have. But if you can kind of group yourselves around the folks that you're with, maybe like this group right here, that group in the middle together, you in the back there, and then you kind of come together, and I'll give you 5 to 7 minutes, and I will tell you when you're about a minute out. Okay, and am I allowed to kind of walk around the groups? Thank you. Don't be shy. So basically, you're going to discuss what are ways that you can involve young people, different ideas that you have that you may involve young people in your business. What are different ways that either you've already or that you currently think that you can involve young people in your business, either exposure through internships or just tangible ways currently? Can I give them 10 minutes? Because pretty much after that, it'll just be questions if they have any, but I'm kind of doing that as I'm going around. I'm sorry? Okay. Okay, okay, got it. I'm just a fly on the wall listening. Okay, start wrapping it up. You have 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, so in the meantime, I want you to pick a spokesperson from your group that can kind of do a quick little 30-second, 15-second recap. I am going to start with that group right there. Yes, yes, the person looking around, yes. Just 15 seconds.
So,
Oh,
okay, yeah. So in our group, I think most of us were familiar with ABC and just really liked what you were doing with the Generals Club and starting earlier. And so we all kind of thought that that was a really good best practice to start focusing on the younger kids, because even some of us were saying they were looking at trade school ages, not particularly that young. Yeah, so that was kind of our biggest, I think, group takeaway from our discussion together.
Perfect, thank you. How about this group right up here? Who's the spokesperson?
How's it going, everybody? Representing millennials, I guess. I think it's important for, millennials. Obviously, there's stigmas about my generation and how they might not want to work hard, and I think it's great what ABC does, training people, especially when they may not be going to college and getting an education like that, to learn a trade, get them started early, get them experience is important. And I think you can see labor shortages across all industries, not just the sphere of construction. You see it in service industry. People are okay right now collecting unemployment and not losing out on experience. I'm 24 years old. I have friends that live in New York City and collect unemployment and are fine with that, which is setting a bad precedent, I would say. So it's great what ABC does, trains people, gets them experience early.
Thank you.
So it's great.
How about this group? Who's the spokesperson over here?
Okay. Us or them?
Oh, either one, either one.
Well, we have an intern coming from out of the country that will kind of shadow each of the departments in our property management company. We haven't had much of the younger crowd come out and try to apply for any of our positions. We gave a guy a chance who was just in high school, and he was our receptionist for a bit, but just get that office experience. So I don't know much about construction and giving that ABC opportunity, but for us specifically, just an office job is just the right path for some people, and the younger kids do apply. It's just not for them because property management is so always changing and quickly evolving because of the laws and different mandates. So that's our opportunity, I guess.
Thank you. How about in the back, and then we'll come to the front.
Well, we pretty much figured out that there are a lot of efforts being made around the United States, at least, for job training programs for people who are out of work and they need to be retrained, and even getting kids is involved in educational processes at a very, very young age, maybe as even before they go into junior high, with getting their interest levels kind of into things maybe in the construction industry and other industries as well. A couple of us talked so long that the rest of us didn't get to talk. So, but it's being done, and it's an exciting process.
Fantastic, thank you. And group in the front, who is your spokesperson? We're here.
So the one thing that I did at my previous job, not with my current business, but I teamed up with a university to take students who are required an apprenticeship in order to graduate, and just brought them up with our company. And then once they were really good, I hired them, and that's how I built my sales force.
Very nice, very nice. So any questions before I close? Any questions before I close? Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Do you know if there's an age cutoff for the apprenticeship program?
So you have pre-apprenticeship, which is middle school and high school, right? And then the apprenticeship, there is no age cutoff because you start at 18 and you can be an apprentice at any age. It may vary from state to state, but the federal piece is you have to have an employer along with the apprenticeship training. There's some that are called craft professionals, and they pay it out of their own pocket to go to trade school, but to actually qualify for a federally funded apprenticeship program, you also have to be employed as
Be
well.
sponsored by that employer.
Correct.
Because I know Job Corps cuts it off at 21.
Yes, so this is different.
Okay.
I think, gentleman right there in the back.
So Annie, thank you for sharing. You brought this to us, so we want to hear your results. What are you guys seeing inside your company from a recruitment standpoint of younger individuals, and then converting them to the trades that you guys self-perform? What does that look like from a increase or percentage standpoint? After you've made these efforts.
Absolutely. So for us, the way, especially with the younger, under 18, we provide like an internship opportunity. We've also done, we've partnered with a local university, with FIU as well. We've had some interns from there, kind of showing them different aspects of the business, depending on the age, correct? And depending where they are, maybe in the program at FIU, if they're in a project management program, then we tailor the internship to that. If they're pre-apprenticeship, if they're in middle school, well, actually we start with 16. It can't be lower than 16 as far as the age that we bring in. They're younger when we go into the clubs, but as far as actually coming to the field or to the yard, basically the field is only for if they're under 18, basically a field trip type thing. So we have them in our yard where they are able to learn carpentry skills. Some, if they're a little bit older, just under 18, some operating equipment. But we keep it because of the safety factor. We're a little bit limited under 18. So we try to give them some opportunities to learn and also work with some basic things in the yard first. When they're over 18, then they already have a certain background with safety and basic job tools and basic things that they're learning, and then they're, if you say graduated into the field, but they're still not enough. I mean, it doesn't cover the amount of shortage that we have. It can't just be one or two companies. It requires the whole industry to take part in this.
So, but have you seen anybody that has gone from those kids that you bring in to actually being employees?
Yes, we've had two. All right, so I'm about to close. I promise. I know they're throwing me off. So I want to leave you with some of the words that we talked that come to mind, whether it be in the construction industry or in the real estate industry or any industry that you're in. I want you to keep in the back of your mind legacy and the importance of legacy, right? So, oh, I'm sorry. Did they just shut me off from the PowerPoint? I'm sorry. So, legacy, right? So, it has to be part of your life. This is my family, right? And the youngsters, they're just like we were exposed to the industry, they're also exposed to it, and they're on the job sites like we were. And I want to leave you with a quote. It is up to us to live up to the legacy that was left for us and to leave a legacy that is worth of our children and of future generations. Thank you for today.